What's up, guys? Yes, I know that was a very short countdown because I realized as I sat here that I misplaced my vape and I was looking for it and didn't realize that I didn't hit the little go button. Yeah, it's been one of those types of Monday mornings, but I'm glad to be here with you all. I am so excited to see you guys and to just chat. I do have some questions for some of you guys. I was trying behind the scenes. I went shopping this weekend and I try to get the chunkier crystal necklaces whenever I can because I really do enjoy them. So I just pick whichever one's called to me, regardless of what kind of gemstone they are. If I like them and they call to me, then I buy them. So I got this one and it is gorgeous. I'm pretty sure it's just a calcite, but it's beautiful. This one was labeled as pineapple quartz, which made sense to me because it looks like a chunk of pineapple, but this is not pineapple quartz. And 2 rock identifiers later, and I can't figure out what it is. So if any of you guys know what this is, it looks kind of yellowish, and it's got those lines, and and you can kind of like see in the middle there. So how are you guys doing? How was your weekend? I hope everyone had a spectacular weekend. Thank you, guys. Don't forget, tonight, it's probably the biggest interview of my career, where I'm going to be being interviewed on the Paranormal 60 podcast right here on YouTube at 10 Eastern time with Dave Schrader, who's from Ghosts of Devil's Perch. He did something with the Lizzie Borden house, but I can't remember the exact title of what it is. And Holzer Files on the Travel Channel, but now it's streaming on HBO Max. So he and I are doing an interview tonight. Yeah, it's not milky. I thought it was milky too, but I have a lot of milky quartz. So milky quartz is like more of like it kind of is like a whitish, like it takes away the clearness of the quartz. This is it definitely has some yellow in it. So I don't know. I mean, eventually I'll figure it out, but I just thought it was a beautiful stone. I needed it in my life, but I'm a little frustrated because a crystal shop like the one I go to, and I only go to it because it's the only one around, should be more well-versed in their crystals than to be misidentifying something so drastically as to label this as pineapple quartz. Pineapple quartz has a layer of other crystals around it. So it would be this piece and then a bunch of little like crystalline crystals all over, like looking like a pineapple shell. And then one of the rock identifiers labeled it as dragon scales, which again looks nothing like dragon scales. Lizzie Borden was found not guilty of murder. It ruined her life, though. Yes, it did. I am a physical medium, as you guys know, and I have channeled some famous murderers, alleged murderers, murderesses, and Lizzie is one that I've had a conversation with because when I watch things like investigations into certain cases, sometimes I will become obsessed. I will immediately become obsessed. And then I end up inevitably with a visit because I'm focusing so much energy. So I can't only watch the show. I have to go research every little single detail. And then I've got to, fact check whatever I can. And then I have to, and then I become obsessed. And then I end up with a visit. So let me say hi to everyone. I'll bring Steven in. I'm going to run and grab my vape real quick because y'all know I cannot go an entire hour without that. There's no way. So Ghostdragonzw, fancy meeting you here. Mr. C. Pretty picture. Oh, on my thumbnail? Thank you so much. I took that yesterday at Bounce U in Paramus, New Jersey. My son had one of his preschool friends had a little birthday party there. It was pretty awesome. Chillin' Charlie, what's up? Yeah, it's been one of those Mondays for me already. It's only noon here and I'm just like fed up at my wit's end. And Lotus girl, a year and a half with Gemma, and I finally remember a Monday talk. Yes. looking to make some pemmican. Ryan Smethurst, identify as human. Roger Blair. Guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us this afternoon. Or I know it's not afternoon for all of y'all. Andrew and Gnomes, what's up? All right, let's bring him in. Thank you. Yeah, maybe we have had the same day so far, or at least the same day energetically, I suppose. But mine kind of, it's been going on, you know, it's been going and it's been going. And then, you know, like you keep having the same issue. So finally you're like, okay, I've changed everything that I could about my part of this issue. And there's another person involved who is absolutely 100% not willing to make any effort, change anything at all. And you get to that point, and then it's like you have to figure out what to do next. And that's kind of where I'm at. And plus I have 2 beds full of clean laundry I've got to put away, and I've got writing to do, and it's going to be a long day. But I'm going to meditate right after this and connect with spirit and bring my mojo back. Let me bring him in.
I type. I'm typing. You can't do that when I'm typing.
I can't.
Morning,
really
afternoon, and all that lovely stuff. How's everybody?
I'll be right back, guys. I got to grab my vape.
You got to grab that nicotine. So how's everybody today? Now that I get to talk to you, since I was hanging out in chat before, how's everybody? You meditate and I play Ark. Now I'm playing Resident Evil right now. Or not right now, but that's what I've been playing. Let me finish mine. I'm just typing here real quick, saying my hellos. So how's the day? Monday for everybody. I got a busy day too. I get to get off of here and run. Still finding stuff that's missing and stuff. It's crazy. Pixie dust, yes. And I will be streaming this Friday, just so folks know. I will be on this Friday. And I'm going to do the Saturdays in 2 weeks. So not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, I'll do a midnight. And we're going to do videos. Particular ones that I've gotten to. I'm glad you're doing good, Andrew. Yeah, I saw all that stuff on Accident. Man, that stuff that was crazy. Yes, Gemma was having a problem with her cat too.
Oh my God, I'm tired of this cat.
Yeah, the cat's driving her nuts.
No, it's more than driving me nuts. It's got to go. It has to go.
It's got to go.
I was actually just going to come up and complain about it. Like, it just hissed at me again. If I'm not feeding this cat, I am being hissed at and growled at and attacked. And personally, I just don't want to do it anymore. So, Ray thought that it was funny. He kind of thinks it's funny because he says the reason I don't want the cat here is because I can't control the cat. When really the cat draws blood. It draws blood on me and my son. So he really wasn't doing much to help me find a place for the cat to go. But the guy who initially gave me the cat, I told him, I'm like, and of course I didn't mean this, but I was like, at this point, like, you need to come get him or I'm going to release him into the wild. Now, I'm obviously not going to release a cat into the wild, but I did look for no-kill shelters, but that wasn't good enough for the other person making the decision. So I really had no recourse because I don't drive. There's no public transportation in my area. Not that I could pick the cat up anyway. And he was like, okay, bring it to, because I go to the, he's a patient with the same doctor that I see once a month. He said, bring him. And I have other cats, and he took him I don't know in my area, Chill and Charlie. I have bears and coyotes, and it's not like when I lived in Patterson, there are like 15,000 other strays, you know. But so he said, okay, bring him. And I have, you know, he took Ralphie for his neuter surgery and his rabies shot a month and a half ago. And he said that Ralphie was incredibly aggressive, but not so much with the other cats. And that just makes me think even more so, like, screw you, cat. Like, you'll go after a human 70 times your size, right? And I noticed too, though, he's nicer to the male of the house who's 6'5" and 200 pounds. But he attacks, you know, my 4 foot tall, 4.5-year-old, and I'm 5'6". I don't take his crap, though. I get that water bottle out. But I just want him to be more comfortable, more so than anything else, because I don't, the thing's afraid of me. And I don't think any animal, even aggressive Ralphie, should have to live in fear. And I think maybe that's why he's aggressive. I believe that before we got him, he had been returned 4 times and he was only like 3 months old. So I think a female may have done something to him, and that's why he's more aggressive towards females. And some cats just aren't good with kids. So Monday, this cat will be out of my life. And I couldn't be more happy. I admit. Sounds like an outside cat, yes. And that's all I'm saying. And we don't have, like, we have beautiful property. We have tons of it, but it's not the right area for a cat.
No, you know, bears and everything else that's out there.
You can't fence a cat in. They're just going to jump. You know what I mean? So it's just not the right place. Again, when I lived in Patterson, sure, you know, there are other strays he can play with. And my cat, Bruce Wayne Springsteen, started off as an indoor cat, but because of the traffic where I lived, meaning coming in and out of my house, he just inevitably became an outside cat, and he would come home every night and go to sleep and stuff. So yeah, outside somebody else's house, yes. But yeah, the kid Pete was really nice about it. He said that he'll take him, and you know, hopefully he doesn't behave like a feral. Miss Lara, welcome. So I got this beautiful deck too while I was at the crystal shop. I specifically didn't order one online because I knew I was going to be taking RJ for a mall day. And they had this one deck I really wanted that they had at the same store, but the one by my mom's house, but they didn't have it. This one, the artwork is, you know, pretty spectacular.
Nice.
So I can't wait for Wednesday, as always. Lots of owl, eagle imagery here. Wolves, for sure, wolves. And every, this might be my favorite card. And every meaning ends with the word Wild Woman Rising, which is the name of the deck. Yeah, it is. It is a Native American deck. Or I believe that's what it's meant to be interpreted as. What, Rex? What happened?
Wait. Sorry, wrong one. They're making a shirt about letting me out of the basement.
Just make me one that says no.
I told him, I said, Andrew brought it up, and I said, well, you know what? It should say, free the dragons.
Oh, you guys are the best. You really are. That's so funny. I'm waiting to see if I get anyone in response to my request for designs for merch. Arisha did a really nice one, and she is she just wears it like randomly, which I think is really cool. And she designed it herself. I thought it was really great. It's one of the designs I'm probably going to use. No, Ryan, I don't know. But I know when I was one, I didn't. So you're probably right on that one. I'm getting sick again. I woke up with a nosebleed, which is interesting because I put the Lemurian seed crystal that Be Kind sent me under my mattress. It's there. I'm going to leave it. I usually rotate. I do like weekly or bi-weekly rotations with my crystals. And once they've been under the mattress, then I definitely cleanse them because that absorbs a lot of your energy. I've been having much better dreams. I don't know, guys. I'm falling out of Andrew, I feel like for a little while, and a little while meaning the last 2 weeks or so, I've been really chilling, Charlie. I have not, but I will be checking emails right after this, and I do have your email address. So if I did not receive it, I will email you. So I've been falling out of kind of step with my manifesting and all of that. I think it has to do with some personal issues that I'm dealing with. And last night I finally just said, like, Gemma, what are you doing? Like what, Bish, what are you doing? And I didn't curse. I said, Bish, what are you doing? Like, you are allowing people who have done nothing to help you, who have done nothing to support you, to encourage you, to make you feel good, to pick you up when you were down. People who have absolutely done nothing positive for you or in your life at all. It's not even like through no lack of trying, like lack of trying, have not even tried to bring you to a point where you feel emotionally and energetically so low that you are now not manifesting properly. And that's just crazy. That's insane. And I really had to, it like kind of hit me all at once. And I was like, wow, like this is the exact type of stuff that I'm always warning the gemstones about, especially the ones in Wednesday night. Like, you don't do that. And I chastised myself in the mirror. And I decided that today was a new day. I was turning over a new leaf, or turning over my old leaf from before 2 weeks ago, and just focusing on that ultimate goal, the ultimate goals, because there's more than one. And most of them involve you guys. Most of them involve the collective. And I don't need for everybody to believe in me. I don't need for everybody to support me. I don't, and I would prefer if people didn't, if they would just stay away from me, and if we're forced to interact, then be civil. That's all that I ask. Thank you. It's the be civil with people that I'm forced to interact with. I feel like a lot of people knew me back when, and they know how my temper can get. So they'll poke the bear, me being the bear, and poke until finally I explode. And then they're like, Miss Be Kind, right? You're a fraud. And the same person does this to me over and over again. And I finally, last night, I did pick up a cup and go to launch it the other day. I picked it up like this, and I went like that, and I took a step forward, and then I just went like that, and I walked away. And that's a big step for me. Big step for me. But, it's a process, guys. And I go through it too. So it's not just you guys. I think it's a human thing that we all go through these moments of doubt and where we don't have so much clarity. But we're all works in progress. And I'm going to be being interviewed by Dave Schrader tonight, which is amazing.
I posted the link in there and all through the chat in the other video too. I'll do it again.
Thank you so much. Guys, if you did not check out the pre-recorded from this morning, Dark Humanoid Entities, please go on and check that out. This coming week, I have a whole list. So I was doing this encounter with creepy humanoids, and a lot of them are something we're going to be discussing in a couple of weeks, which are faceless entities. But I had so many encounters, I didn't want to do faceless entities 1 and 2 both in the same month. So this one is bizarre encounters with creepy humanoid beings, but they're not all faceless. Some of them are just really weird. And I really want to hear your guys' opinions on the dark humanoid entities for sure, because some of them are similar to shadow entity phenomenon. Some of them definitely aren't. And some of them I don't know. And that's why I kind of bring these things to you guys too, because I love hearing. I know you guys, I don't respond to comments a lot of the time because I don't have time, but I do see them come in and I can read them from the little a push notification on my phone. So just because I didn't respond doesn't mean I didn't read it. It just means I didn't go into YouTube Studio and read it. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. I love, listen, if it's spooky, I am totally into it. The only one idea or two ideas that I have, is like, I want a gemstone somewhere on a shirt. Like maybe like, hands with like long nails and rings like the ones I wear over a crystal ball, but the crystal ball is actually a gemstone. I don't know. But I could try to have someone draw it up. That would be awesome, because then I can show people what they look like and we can start getting orders in, and I can pay her as we go. That way we don't get stuck with one, X amount of this size and X amount of this size. And then what if everyone's that size? And I just pay her as we go. And we could start merch, pretty much right away as orders come in. And I do want to do a shirt with my face on it, but I don't know if one of my selfies, I think there's 9,000 now on my
I got
face.
an idea. I'll order a comic book, one of your coloring books. I'll color the picture in, and you can put that on your shirt, on your t-shirt.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Does it have to be like maybe a digital image? Is a picture a digital image though? Like,
yeah, if you take a picture, say I color your picture in, and she takes a picture of it. I take a picture of it and send it to her. Yes, you can use that.
All right. Well, let me see what you got.
Okay. I have to order a book first.
A magazine. Let me see what I can do about that.
Okay. Yeah, because I love the color. I can't draw too much anymore, but I do. I mean, you still have my Batman, so it was one of the last things I did that turned out well, other than the one I hang up on my wall.
That's in RJ's room above his bed.
Yeah, that was like one of the last things I could finish.
Oh God, I'm sorry, guys. It's my left nostril.
Yeah,
no, I do not. I do not have an EMF reader. Here's the thing, guys. I'm a medium. So I know when spirit is around and when ghosts are around. I mean, some of them slip by me. But that's usually when I'm closed, when I'm working, or when I'm like out in public. I have to shut most things down. But
it doesn't help. Sitting beside you going, do you see that? Do you see that? Like yeah, we were on the road. That was really insane.
We were freaking my family out. But I mean, we couldn't help it. Oh, thank you so much, Andrew.
Well, I can't turn it off like you do.
Yeah, but you also have different abilities than I do.
Yeah,
whereas I see ghost spirits, entities, and things like that. I don't know. You see something different. And I don't
sometimes even know I do. Yeah.
A lot of the time you do. It's like we will see the same things, but then there are things you see that I don't see and things I see. So, I mean, there's such a broad spectrum. Guys, it could be the cat, but honestly, the cat is 10 months. We've had the cat for 10 months already.
Yeah, you would have known sooner.
I think what it is, the pollen count in New Jersey is I don't know if it's everywhere, but I know in New Jersey this year, it's extremely high. And I don't even have allergies, but so far all spring, I've been blowing pollen. Like I can taste it, blowing pollen.
Yeah, it's the trees that were really, really bad this year. I mean, you literally see it on the cars if you let your car sit.
Yes, my mom. That happened to my mom. Hold on, let me.
What'd you see?
No, I'm just looking. I'm just trying to read the chat a little bit. I saw something, but I don't. EMF reader. Oh, I saw someone say you look like a small. I don't know what that means. I'm a large bottom and a medium top, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, I think everyone's allergies are acting up.
Even people that don't have allergies are having problems.
Andrew and Gnomes, as far as talking back, I have heard shadow entities, the Hat Man included, to possibly be telepathically communicating, possibly. In all the cases that I've investigated or that have been sent to me, and in my research for the third book, I wrote a whole book on shadow entities, as most of you all know. Yeah, I am. The people aren't even sure if they were, being fed something in their mind. But it's just like, now it's like, shadow entities, if you think about back in 2005, we knew about ghosts, spirits, demons, etc., and maybe some other entities as well, but shadow people, what are those? Now there's this faceless entity, the Glimmer Man. Let me tell you something, the faceless entity. Oh, thank you. Thank you. This faceless entity is like the creepiest thing I've come across. At least the Glimmer Man entity is like, it's translucent, it's kind of sparkly. This faceless thing is, I don't even know. If you guys have time, please check out the video that I just put up about an hour and a half ago on my channel, because number one, only 26 people watched it, and number two, I'm definitely like, one of the entities was like a regular shadow person, but it was slick. Like, it looked slick, like wet, like shiny.
So it had a shimmer to it?
It had a dark shimmer to it. Like the one guy, definitely was in a bout of sleep paralysis and saw a shadow being. Done. Like, I know that's what happened, but I included it in there. And then the rest of them, like, there were these weird, eerie, dark, black, humanoid entities, just like shadow people, but there was something different about all of them. One of them left footprints behind, which for the most part, shadow people do not do. As far as I know, they don't do that ever.
I've never seen that happen with the shadow person.
Right? And I know you see them a lot more than I do. Number two, there was one that was like I said, like slick. It looked wet. Only it wasn't wet, because you can tell. I guess you'd be able to tell. I don't know. It looked wet. Most of the ones that we were talking about were like 2 feet tall, 3 feet tall, and all of them were seen for some reason. Every encounter I just happened to randomly pull, because I have thousands of encounters, guys. I go into my folders and I say, I'll take that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and then I pull them out. I just so happened to randomly pull out 4 or 5 encounters where the entity was spotted underneath a street light, which to me was weird. One of them in that video I thought was perhaps an ancient forest spirit. And then another one saw a tall shadow entity standing on an urban road underneath a street light with its arms hunched over, like kind of like a Bigfoot, with its arms hanging down to its feet.
Now, I've seen stuff like that, but not bulky. They were real long, and the shadow was real long, and everything that seemed to be all stretched out. The legs seemed all stretched out. The hands and the fingers seemed all stretched out.
Can I tell you why I've noticed that happens? Oh, Pine Island, so nice to see you. Can I tell you why that happens? In my experience, for the most part, guys, I can't ever say with 100% certainty that 100% of the time what I've experienced is going to be what's happening. But in my experience, this is why that happens. A lot of the time, it will be not a shadow person. It'll be several smaller shadow people who are trying to present themselves as bigger, and they will mush together as one. I've seen that, which is when you get like the really gigantic kind of hunched over, long-armed creature. Stretching out, I've seen that happen with ghosts sometimes, where they don't know they're dead and they start going mentally ill, because spirits don't obviously go insane. Ghosts do. Their energy, their spirit can very much go crazy. I mean, imagine you're stuck on this plane, nobody can hear you or see you.
I call it they decay. I say they decay. Right.
They mentally definitely decay. So I've seen ghosts that have turned themselves into these horrific, and a lot of the times they are stretched out for some reason. Stretched out arms, and they're these stretched out.
They're exaggerated.
grotesque beasts with exaggerated limbs. And they're like, what's happening to me? Why are my legs like this? Why are my fingers? Well, they don't realize that they're doing it to themselves in their ghostly insanity. And that's normally when I'll make the light for them and say, hey, if you want it to stop, come over here, you know. And a lot of the times they still won't. There's one thing I've seen some years ago now, like a black liquid entity. Paranormal Pixie.
I've seen black goo, which is almost the same thing.
Yeah, so we're not talking about like it being like a shadow entity, but it was
like liquid.
I know I came across that in the research for the book because I have a little bit about that in the book, but in my personal experience, no. I one time I saw black, like, and this might actually be what you're talking about. I saw black like ooze coming down, dripping down my wall.
I call it the goo. Yeah, they also call it black goo.
But it wasn't an entity. It probably was an entity, but it was presenting itself as like, I'm dripping down a wall. But I can tell the difference between living and energy and not living. So a mist that's supernatural, that, you know, is there because it's a bunch of spirits, as opposed to a fog that comes on suddenly. You know, there's different. Living has energy. Dead has energy. Hey, Nicole, amorphous like liquid. Yes, I have come across that. But just like with other shadow beings, I'm always the first to admit when I have no idea what something is. I have no idea. It's kind of like with the shadow entity phenomenon, where it could be so many different things. And
like I said, I see three. I categorize them as three different entities.
Well, I always tell people, you know, and Lara, you already know this, like, just go with your gut, right? Instinctively, how do you feel when you're in the presence of this entity? Because that's going to tell you a lot about the intentions of the entity. You know, we as human beings, we are very smart. Okay, we are a lot more in tune and intuitive than we believe we are. They found black goo in the pyramid. Interesting.
I read an article about that. It was really interesting.
Hold on. No impression of intelligence or negative
Oops,
energy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No impression of intelligence or negative. Yeah, where'd it go? Okay.
Right there. I'm sorry. Up. I hit it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My fingers.
Okay, so more than likely, if it wasn't a living entity itself, then it was definitely, I would say 98% left over by something. Kind of like how we track dirt into our homes if we come in from the mud. You know what I mean? Like, we're walking around in the mud and we walk into our house, we don't take our shoes off, we'll track dirt. Entities do the same thing. They leave signature like that. I don't know what sort of entity, but I can't imagine a higher vibrational spirit tracking something like that through your house. But now, I mean, stranger things have happened.
The black goo, what I saw, I didn't get anything. It was something not of this earth. That I definitely got.
And I'm sorry, guys, I keep sniffling. I told you the pollen is like, and now I've got my windows open, so it's even worse. Yeah, I think it's just like a lot of us here in this community on this channel, I've noticed, like, we're really open, and we're a lot more open than a lot of other people. I mean, the people that I meet in my chat are a lot more open than the average people I'm going to meet at Applebee's on a Sunday afternoon. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean there's nobody there that I can't talk to. They'll say, oh, I like your such and such crystal you're wearing. And then we'll talk about that. And then on Saturday, when I was at the mall with my son, he was eating his ice cream and we were waiting for our Uber. And I saw two teenage girls and they were playing some word game. And they were just sitting there, I guess, waiting for their ride. And I'm looking at the girl because I'm shut down, but that I can't ever block everything. That just blocks most of it. And this girl has this guy with her, this older gentleman with her. and it's a father entity. So it's either her father, her grandfather, great grandfather. It's somewhere along the father's lineage. It is blood relation, which means it is her father or grandfather. But he looks a little younger, so I'm assuming father. But I don't want to traumatize this teenage girl by saying, "Hey, your dad's with you. He's on." So I ended up talking to them about something. She was saying how cute my son was. And I said, yeah, he's my little soulmate. And she's like, I want a baby. And I'm like, no, you don't. I was a teen mom. You don't want to do that. I'm like, just borrow someone else's and then, give them back when you're done.
Babysit.
So I'm giving the mom advice, babysit for a few nights, babysit for a couple of weeks if you want. But you'll probably draw the line there and be happy that you took my advice. So I don't know how we get on the conversation. Oh, I was just like, hey girls, by the way, I gave them each my business card. I said Wednesday nights, I read one free card for anyone who comes into my chat on YouTube. So, feel free to stop in. I didn't even get their names, but one girl had on these sandals. They were literal fish. They were fish. They looked like a big piece of fish with a foot, a thing cut out.
I've seen them. Yeah, they're hilarious.
They were awesome. So RJ thought they were the greatest thing since sliced bread. But the one girl said, you're a medium. I said, yeah. She said, what does that mean? I said, well, that means that I can see and feel dead people, spirits. And the girl's like, oh, you can't. I was like, bud, I shut myself down when I come out in public because everybody has dead people. And the one girl's like, we do? I'm like, yes. I'm like, even if you can't think of a single person in your lifetime who's passed away that you still have ancestors, honey. You still have great grandparents. You still have great great grandparents. You still have, whoever. I said, so yes. And you still have a spirit team. And I said, could you imagine all the people that are in this mall today if I had to also see all of their attachments? And the one girl looked at me and her eyes were like tearing up. And she's like, do you see my dad? And I said, actually, I do see. I said, I see an older gentleman, but I didn't want to get right into a full reading, but now I didn't want to leave her hanging. I said, listen, I shut myself down when I'm out. I said, but you do have an older gentleman attached to you, and he just wants you to know he's always with you. Come into my stream, and if she comes into my stream Wednesday, I'm going to do a session with her privately and bring her dad through for her because you could see the pain on her. You could see that she was a really sweet kid, and she's definitely a light worker that can do amazing things. But like with all teenagers, she could end up very quickly turning on a dime and going down the wrong path because of abandonment issues that I see on her. Not that she didn't have her mother, but you lose your father at a young age, either one of your parents.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't understand. And even as a teenager, you think you understand and you think you're okay with it, but you can't be. I don't think you can be. So I hope that she comes in because I gave them my business card. I didn't get even their names. I said, just say you're the girls from the mall because I was hurrying because it was going to storm. Right. So I hope
I wish I had you with me about a year ago. I took off. Sometimes I like to go to the park up the road. That's where I find my Indian mounds. And I was up there walking around, and there's kids playing on the playground there. And this one little boy had this tall figure following him around. And I saw these two ladies, and I went over and I went, are those kids yours? And the lady said, yeah. And I said, which one's yours? And they told me which one was whose. And I sat down and I go, can I tell you something if you promise you don't freak out? And she goes, what's wrong? I go, the one boy has a tall figure following him around. I can't make it out. It's just a black shadow, but it's tall. And he goes, well, he lost his grandfather about a year ago, and they were really close. I said, well, he's watching over him. And she started crying then and there.
That's what I mean about you and I. I will see entities as energetic, like when I channel on Wednesday nights, okay? It's mainly all energetic. So if your Uncle Pat comes in, I'm probably not going to see him in his face. I will not be able to describe to you what he looks like, but I can tell you how great his energy is. If I'm doing a one-on-one, then I can tell you, like, it's this person. Because I'm bringing in your entire spirit team, and it's a lot of different entities. So I ask that they bring themselves in as energy, and that's usually how they start to form anyway. you tend to see a lot of other beings as shadow. And I don't know why that is. It may have to do with your gift of observing, where something
Yeah, I
like
see
that.
shadows, but I pick up details. When it comes to seeing actual
Right, because
spirits,
they're
I
not
pick up
shadow
details.
entities. You're actually seeing spirit, but you see them in shadow. And
Right.
sometimes protector entities will show themselves as shadow. Um, when you went to the doctor with me the last time, my counselor, I don't know if you remember, she called me into her
Yes, I
office.
remember that whole
Said,
situation.
she said, I'm not supposed to talk to you about this. She said, but you must know you have a gigantic male masculine figure standing behind you like this, and he refuses to show himself to me, but he's with you and he's a protector. And I said, that is probably one of my ancestors. I don't see him. I don't, but I trust this woman that she knew what she was talking about. Just like I'm not psychic about myself, um, which is why I end up in abusive and terrible relationships usually, because you can't be psychic about yourself. Almost all mediums and psychics will tell you that. But every once in a while, I caught a glimpse of something yesterday in someone that I'm very close to, which is very rare. Romantic relationships. I can be intuitive about a little bit more than most people are. Like, you have an inkling that, I don't know, your spouse is cheating or something. I get those inklings too. Mine just are a little stronger. And for good things as well. Like, you know that they're going to surprise you with something, you know what's coming, kind of. But as far as definites, whereas I can tell you guys at up to a 98th percent that this is going to happen, with me it's more like a 40% chance that I'm right or wrong. It's just the design. We can't, if we knew that much about our own lives, we'd be gods, so we can't. But I picked out something yesterday. The topic in church was sexual sin, and I didn't like what I was picking up. It was an uncomfortable topic. There was a lot of uncomfortable energy in the church as it was, because a lot of people feel a little bit convicted. Hard to see the story when you're in it. Yeah. And I think that's why a lot of people, my biggest critics are people who will say, like, all you talk so much about being in a narcissistic abusive relationship. You talk about your addiction. You talk about how you've been physically abused. Like, how did you not see that coming? That's why I know you're fake. And it's like, no, honey, that's how you know it's the real deal, because I'd be a freaking famous millionaire movie star right now if I
Yeah,
if
if
I
you could
knew.
see your own path,
Right,
yeah.
every right choice to
Can I,
make, and like not that I can tell you, I didn't know like my first marriage was going to end badly. Like, I didn't know that I knew a lot of the things, but just like everyone else, I ignore red flags and I ignore those instinctual hits, because I'm human, and because I was a teenager, and because I was a young
right.
adult, and because I was in addiction. So maybe I do see it, but like everyone else.
I want to answer this real quick. I don't see people like Gemma does. I see shadows, and it's usually following somebody else. Now, there have been rare occasions where I actually do see the person, but it's pretty rare. I do see stuff in videos and in pictures that people don't see.
Yeah. And that's what I don't understand that difference. But I know you're a rare type of light worker in being an observer. You're the only one that I know,
You
or
know,
that
I
I've
found
ever
out I
met.
was a healer too.
Well,
I
we're
don't
all
know where that
healers.
came from, but it was really strange. The other day, I was standing next to a lady, and she kept looking at me. And then she smiled real big, and she goes, "What is it about you? I don't even know you." And I go, "What?" And she goes, "All of a sudden, I feel relaxed like I've never felt before. And it's been a very stressful day and week. And you just standing by me just made me as calm as could be. And I'm already, I'm over here pulling my hair out because I'm trying to replace stuff that's missing from the house." And she's like, "What? Why? Who are you?" And started laughing. She just giggled all the way out the store. And she goes, "I have never felt better in my life for just standing next to somebody as she was standing out the door, walking out the door." It was weird.
We're all healers in a one degree or another. Nicole, remember also that even with me, or like Arisha said she can do it, through chat, through text messages, even channeling in your team, if we're not face to face with you, we can only pick up energy. If someone's telling you that they're picking up an entity around you virtually, I'm not saying it can't be done, guys, because I don't know all the gifts that are out there. I would be a little skeptical. I mean, I can definitely sense energies around you, but I would have to be looking at you to see if there's any entities, attachments, or people surrounding you as well. Chillin' Charlie, I struggle with that as well. Also, the church that I go to is the church that I attended when I was in my addiction, so that's hard because I used to go there after using every single Sunday morning, and it was hard getting back there and not, being in that state of mind. But you can, okay, so like my church has an app. It's called the Emergence app. And my pastor is the kind of head pastor of all the Emergence campuses, and there are other pastors under him, and it's in Totowa, New Jersey. So you can download the app, and every Monday morning, the sermon from the day before is uploaded.
Well, and churches do that now too.
Also, our music. Well, we've been doing it. It's kind of like we've been doing it since the church opened in, I think, 2008. But so Emergence app, that would be my church, or the pastor. What's his last name? Oh, Ryan Batesel. He's funny as heck, and he's awesome. Or you can find an app like that. So if you don't, church is in your heart. So church doesn't have to be a group of people. You can listen to sermons on your own on a weekly basis or however often you want to. And that can be your church. If that's how you want to get closer to whatever you consider God to be or whoever, you should do that. And then you don't have to go out and you don't have to be subjected to the throngs of people and at least until maybe you get a little more comfortable with the idea of walking into a church. Now, the church I go to before it became Emergence Church was an Entenmann's factory. Because we're a non-denominational Christian church. We're not a Catholic church. So there's no big, stained glass windows and there's no pews. Church. Yeah, we sit in folding chairs and, well, they're a little more comfortable than folding chairs. But it's just a church. We walk in, we give you a free coffee, and we sit down and we go through the Bible. So you can definitely do that. You can do that through apps.
Yeah, I thought Lotus told me something I didn't even realize about right here. Because I don't sleep. I don't think I've ever slept really long since I was 2 years old.
I have to move myself out for a minute, guys. My nose is really bothering me.
You're fine. Yeah, so that's interesting because as long as I can remember, I only average a couple hours sleep. Now, since I met somebody, I sleep a little longer, but it's now went from 2 hours to maybe 4 hours. I see, hon. Are you okay? Okay. Her nose is bleeding again. Mine was real bad yesterday and this morning too. It sucks. I think it's just that pollen gets up there and it dries your nose out really bad. But yeah, I never, realized that. But see, Lotus, I also rock in my sleep constantly. Now, as I've gotten older, I've noticed it slows down. But now my sleep is more restless. I'm still rocking. Some nights are worse than others, but that's an interesting thought. I'm going to have to look into that because it kind of makes sense. It really does. Yeah, poor girl. I'm telling you, this pollen right now is really bad. And it's tearing me up. My ears are going nuts again.
I got the that saline, just plain saline. I'm going to, do that when we're done here.
There's a good product out too you might like. It's called Liquid IV. And I've been drinking it 1 in the morning, 1 at night. It gets rid of your headache. It's like a liquid IV. And that stuff is awesome. I'll order you some. I'll order you a test pack. It even comes with a jug you can shake it up in.
Just remember, it can't have...
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Okay.
No.
Great.
That stuff
I'm
was
writing
really
all this
good. It
down,
really
guys.
helps. It got rid of my
So-
morning headaches.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, that would be great. Lotus, I've read that too. It, and of course, again, there are no constants. But yes, highly evolved old souls. Damien does not sleep a lot, and he's not usually tired. So yes, I have heard that as well. He also like never cried. Yeah, I wrote that down too, for sure. Yeah, I only had the air conditioner on for a few minutes. I've been trying to keep it off, but I did have it on all night last night, and I noticed that's when the nostril started, and now it's nice and cool out. So,
It's
also,
nice here too.
very old air conditioners where they're left in the window all year long because I can't lift them out, and
Have you checked the
There's-
filter in it to see if it's been cleaned?
yeah, that's been cleaned. What I'm able to do, I do. So guys, I've got some cool videos coming up soon. So this coming week is going to be bizarre encounters with creepy humanoids. I'm actually finishing that script right when I'm done here. I may even film it today, get a head start on it. Surreal encounters with faceless humanoids, family that allegedly lived with Bigfoot. So that's going to be pretty cool. I
That'll
should
be a
try
good
that
one.
too. Humidifier, yeah, thank you guys so much. I should get one of those anyway because RJ, like, he has all the same stuff as I have all the time.
You can get like small ones too that you can sit on a desk.
Yeah. That I can put right over here. If any of you guys can just tell me what this is, maybe for Wednesday night, I would appreciate it. Like I said, pineapple quartz made sense because I don't know if you guys can see it. I can't because of the glare of my light. Excuse me. It's got a yellowish tint to it, kind of like a yellow tooth, you know, like from a smoker's tooth. And then it's got the lines in it, very clearly defined. And then there's this that looks kind of like tapioca. And then in the middle, there's the line that goes all the way around. So I'm not sure what it is. It actually looks a little bit like a big chunk of yellow selenite on the sides here. I just like to know what crystals I'm working with here. Like I'm not going to work with this because I don't know what it is. It could just be yellow quartz, you know.
I'm going to try to find you a book that you could just look through.
The rock identifiers
dig around.
The rock identifiers do not work. This is not dragon scales. If any of you guys know what dragon scales quartz is, this looks nothing like dragon scales quartz. Dragon scales quartz is a piece of quartz that actually has things that look like scales, pointy scales, growing out of the sides of it. So how is this dragon scales quartz? You get what you pay for, right?
Right.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it. Should not drink chamomile. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. Pedialyte, I definitely have.
Yeah, Pedialyte's great. And it's the same thing as the intravenous, that liquid IV. But the liquid IV is actually better for you.
Dargo, what's up? Dargo, listen. Yellow calcite. I thought this was a calcite, but this is not actually. I was wrong. This is. I just looked it up and now I don't remember what it is. That's good. Paranormal Pixie, yes. See you. Yes, tonight, guys. Please don't forget at 10 p.m. Eastern. This is huge for me. Dave Schrader is like the ultimate, and I really am looking forward to this interview. That is the link to his channel, the Paranormal 60 podcast here on YouTube. If you want to go subscribe because he's awesome, and also hit the reminder. I don't know if he has the thumbnail up for tonight yet. I didn't even look.
I didn't see it yet. I told him that if I didn't show up, I wouldn't get my waffle sandwich.
What was I going? Oh yeah, Dargo. I wanted to ask you. I only mailed it out last.
Was it Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
Or was it longer than?
No, Monday, Tuesday, last Tuesday, because I brought it to Mom's to mail it out the Saturday before. I got to the post office too late. Monday was the holiday. I had him do it the very next day, last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, I mailed out the winning necklace. I mailed out the winning, the earrings, all that kind of stuff. So let me know, please. Just shoot me a text when you get it. And yeah, did they know? No, Nicole, that's what made me so upset. Okay, because I told Lara yesterday, I always go into this store, and I always buy something. But the way that I choose which crystals I buy is I stand in the middle of the store, I close my eyes, and I just let my intuition direct me. This I literally walked into the store, walked directly over. They have these big trees that have all jewelry hanging from them. And I just grabbed, like it was there. I zeroed in on it. I knew I wanted it. This thing, I always buy like a few tumbles. This one was a little more expensive than most of the tumbles. Oh, okay. Yes. Yay. Yes. So I was like, oh, pineapple quartz. Because it looks like a chunk of pineapple to me. So I didn't ask any questions. And then when I got home, oh, good. Okay. Yes. All right. Let me know that it arrived in one piece. It'll look like an envelope that I mailed the books in, but it's not a book. I taped the necklace to the inside of the bubble mailer because I didn't have the right packaging. So yeah, they had it mislabeled, and that's what kind of upsets me. Nobody's perfect, guys, but I do have very high standards. I know. I think it's because I'm such a perfectionist, believe it or not. All of the effort that goes into even those 35-minute pre-recorded videos, you have no idea the effort I put into those. So to label something as pineapple quartz, okay, thank you, Miss Lara. To have someone walking around thinking this is pineapple quartz. What if somebody needed pineapple quartz to do some healing, or they would have grabbed the wrong thing if they didn't know any better? And that's what kind of upsets me. And if you look, it's got like the crack on the bottom. So I don't know. Like I said, it looks like a hunk of pineapple. So I am going to email them and let them know, not in a nasty or complainatory way, just let them know that they misidentified that crystal. And that's not the first time that's happened, because they've had crystals that I knew what they were identified as, other things. But smooth melty look.
It's hard. You got a kind of a glare on that.
That's the light. Yeah, actually it does. It does have a very, it's
yeah,
very
it does
smooth.
From what I can see.
And the top of it does look kind of, yes, it looks like a candle wax melting. And then the sides look like, those layered rocks. That's what the side looks like, layers. I forgot what they're called, but when you could see the layers inside the rocks, that's what it looks like, but up and down. All right, guys, I think that's it. I'll see you guys tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. I've got to go get to work, other work. And I really hope to see you all there. Yeah, Chill and Charlie, it is. It's not the best thing to be misidentifying. It can cause serious problems for people. Calcite makes more sense, yeah. I mean, I'm still looking, Yeah, I'm going to email them. Yeah, Andrew, you donate when you can. I know that. The best way to support me, guys, is to watch the video all the way through. Okay, because average view duration is only 12 minutes, which means after 12 minutes, most people turn it off. And that causes me a lot of problems with the YouTube algorithm.
It does mess with it.
I'm gonna keep looking. If you guys can just keep looking. And this one, it has the druzy, how it's like all little sparkly, not around here, but on the actual stone. And it feels like that rough, like if you were putting your nails on a chalkboard type feeling. And it too is a yellowish
color.
Yellowish creamish color. And this is what the back looks like of this one.
See, that looks like granite to me on the back.
It's got a little gray in there. So, all right, guys. Love y'all. Love, light, and so much peace and happiness. I'm going to go change my clothes, change out of this dress, and do some yoga. What's that? The melty?
Or it
Yeah.
might be way that they clean it that causes that look.
Huh. Oh, that would be a shame. It looks so pretty. I was hoping it was natural.
You'd have to find out where they get it from and what they clean it with.
It's definitely polished. I know that. It's not like this is a rough stone. This is not this is raw. This is polished. All right. Send spirits back accidentally if you mislabel it. That's what I'm saying. Like, how are you going to mislabel crystals? It's not like putting the wrong scent on a perfume.
Right.
All right, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for coming in. And we'll also see you guys Wednesday night. All right. Go back and please watch the pre-recorded that I put out at 11 on dark humanoid entities. If you haven't already, please watch the whole thing, guys. I really would appreciate it. I know if like my voice gets annoying or whatever, I don't care. Turn it down and put it in the other room. Just let the video play all the way through because
that's
it's
what I do. That's why you see so many hearts. Every time you see a heart where our videos are, that's how many times I've watched it.
It's so bad for me when you guys only listen a little bit and then turn it off. It really is. All right. Bye-bye.